the next night with 4. So they need some consistency, especially trying to go into the playoff picture. They must play a little bit better offensively down the stretch. Their defense has been solid.
Daryl Garrettson with the toss, and Mark Jackson comes down with it for the Knicks. We're underway at the Garden in New York. Inside to Ewing, is turned around, draws the foul immediately.
You know, interestingly, that's a play that the Lakers used to run all the time with Magic Johnson looking for Worthy coming across the lane. It's now Patrick Ewing, and Mark Jackson is making the same pass Magic used to make. As you try to read that screen, Ewing just stops and you throw the opposite side of the basket. Patrick was open and received the foul and will get 2 free throws.
Patrick Ewing, a big game last night in Philadelphia where he connected on 35 points, 11 rebounds, 3 block shots as the Knicks won their 4th straight.
Ron, if New York does have a weakness, they are not a good free throw shooting team. 72% on the season. That's 26th in the league out of 27 teams. So free throw shooting, something they need to do a better job of, especially in the playoffs when there are more free throws attempted because of the half-court game.
Jackson's going to pressure Threed early on in the ball game. Sedell Threed, who's had to move over from the shooting guard position to the point guard. Oakley on Perkins. This fall away, the left-handed high arcer won't go. There's a man who needs the big game, Eldon Campbell, who's a human pogo stick.
Well, the Knicks are going to try to rush the ball up the floor. They do not want to get into a half-court game. They're going to try to push it up and get some easy baskets.
Pat Riley may cringe when Charles Oakley takes that shot. Threed, the pull-up 17-footer, goes about 18.5. Ewing with his first board of the ball game.
See tempo right now, New York trying to establish it early, running, taking quick shots.
Jackson, who averages just over 10 a game, gets his first 2. New York's already equaled their win total of last year. And they still have 20 ball games remaining. Campbell had a step on Ewing but lost the handle. Shot clock at 6. Campbell lets it fly. That was ugly. Green doesn't get it. The 81-68 game between these two teams was the lowest point total for New York since they put the 20-second shot clock in, 24-second shot clock back in '54. Shot clock at 7. Ewing, nothing but the bottom of the net. He has 3.
Patrick Ewing had a great shooting night last night in Philadelphia. Hit that same shot against the Sixers. Would step out on the floor, little medium range jump shot. When he's hitting that shot, he's very difficult to defend.
Last 3 games, he's averaged 28 points a contest.
He went through a little drought for about 5 games, only averaged about 13 points a game. He's back now.
Well, Perkins backs down Oakley into the corner and then uses the fall-away left-hander to get his first 2. The Knicks lead it by 1. Early on in the first quarter, Ron Thulin along with Doug Collins, Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta. The X-Man, Xavier McDaniel.
That's a well-executed play by the New York Knicks. You can see the Lakers are going to back off and give you the outside jump shots. They do not want you penetrating.
McDaniel's been in a shooting slump. He's just starting to come out of it. Knicks now 3 of 4, and they throw the ball to me, and I miss it. Bad hands. But the Lakers will control 11 on the shot clock. Patrick Ewing already with 3 points in the ball game. AC Green triggers the inbounds pass. Magic Johnson, in case you're wondering, is here tonight. He's sitting to our left. Had a very vigorous workout prior to tonight's game. First turnover of the ball game. New York has the numbers. McDaniel tries to go baseline. Daryl Garrettson blows the whistle. We have a foul.
Tough matchup for Eldon Campbell. He's matched up right now against Xavier McDaniel. They have Perkins against Ewing, so McDaniel looking to put the ball on the floor, use his quickness against an Eldon Campbell out on the floor. Campbell with a foul.
Jackson, good pass inside to Oakley, looks for the cutting Gerald Wilkins, and it's rejected by Eldon Campbell big time.
Eldon Campbell is lively tonight. An offensive rebound with a reverse dunk, and they're in an excellent shot block.
Ewing, the fall away, doesn't get it. He goes to the floor hard. Pat Riley likes it. He claps. Campbell, however, picks up his 2nd personal foul. Eldon Campbell leads the team with 110 blocks. This is 111.
Well, this is what he can do. He's a spectacular athlete. And again, if he focuses and can get some consistency, Ron, he could really help this team. He struggles from night to night to perform at the same level. The Lakers are hoping that's inexperience, something that he will get better with as he gets a little bit older.
He's only in his second year. Out of Clemson and Ewing at the line to shoot a couple. Patrick gets the first. Vlade Divac is going to come in, and AC Green changes position as Eldon Campbell has to sit down with 2 fouls. Talking to Mike Dunleavy today, though, he said, you know, what one player do you really need to step forward or that you can count on? And his right off the bat was Eldon Campbell.
Well, because he teases you. He shows you on a particular night what he's capable of doing, and the next night he lets you down. So again, that's an area that they really need him to step forward. Now AC Green moves over to the small forward position to be matched up against Xavier McDaniel. So the Lakers have gone big now with Perkins, Divac, and AC Green.
That's what they did last year. They went big a lot. When you throw Magic in there and Worthy in there, as Perkins hits from the outside, and he's had the hot hand as he has 4. Knicks lead it by 3 inside of 8.5 of the first quarter. McDaniel from outside, and he buries the jumper for his 4th point of the game.
I really like what New York's doing in the half court. They're setting a lot of double screens, staggering some screens, getting Xavier McDaniel some quick shots, and he's really been off to a good start here in the first quarter. Had 2 really good looks at the basket.
We talked about how LA is going to pack it in, no question about it. They're one of the best at doing that. New York needing to hit the perimeter shots, and McDaniel hitting that opens things up.
I think what has happened the last 2 times that McDaniel has come off the screen, he's done a very good job of reading where the defense is, and he's gone away from the defensive pressure, and Jackson's done a nice job delivering him the ball.
Vlade Divac missing 44 games. Misses the shot. This is only his 15th game of the year. Had surgery to repair that herniated disc in his back. Ewing over Divac off balance. Vlade got enough body on him where it altered the shot. Lakers have it. Pat Riley's up yelling. He doesn't like the call.
I think the Lakers got a break there. It looked like the ball went off Vlade Divac's arm. I think that's what Pat Riley was letting Hank Armstrong know.
I think he did effectively. You think about the starting lineup that the Lakers would have had even without Magic Johnson. They've only played 2 games together this year. Is whistling a foul. You think about it, they only played 2 when you have Divac and Worthy, Perkins.
I noticed that today when I was looking through the stats. Their record is 1-1 with their best team. Their best team would be Sedale Threet, Byron Scott, Worthy, Divac, and Sam Perkins. And that team has played 2 games together this year.
The lineup they started tonight was 3-1. That foul was on McDaniel.
You know, Ron, one thing I really notice about this Laker team now is without Kareem, without Magic, without Worthy, obviously you miss their playing, but you don't have the feeling in the building that the Lakers are here. This is a very quiet crowd. Last year we came in to do this game and the crowd was buzzing. You know, obviously Magic used to love to play in New York. It was his one time a year to come in here. You just don't feel that presence of the Lakers now, and I think that that's carried over to the way they've played on the floor. When they go from game to game, I don't see that intensity, that excitement that they normally would bring to the game.
Even with the crowd, when they announced that James Worthy wasn't going to be here, the crowd here in the Garden booed. Some of the mystique may be gone. Wilkins off balance shot. Oakley positioning for the rebound. What a nose for the ball for Charles Oakley, and he draws the foul.
Charles works so hard inside. If he does get frustrated, it's because in many instances he can't get those shots to go in for him. This time he draws the foul. But look at Oakley just push himself through, get the ball, go up strong, and get the foul right there. So nice play by Charles Oakley.
And Oakley will go at the line to shoot a couple. On the year, he's a 74% free throw shooter. Oakley, 7th player. Foul was on Perkins. That's his 2nd personal.
The foul trouble already for the Lakers. 2 on Sam Perkins and 2 on Eldon Campbell. They can ill afford to get their front line any more foul trouble. We're going to see Jack Haley now. So Mike Dunleavy's had to go deep into his bench, a bench that's already been decimated by injuries. You've got 3 bench players that are now starters.
That's right. And once again, who's going to score the points now? You take Sam Perkins out of the lineup, who's your leading scorer at the start of today's game. He has to sit down. Haley comes in averaging just over 1 a game, and Mike Dunleavy now has to go in a bag of tricks to try to find some way how to keep this win streak going here at the Garden. 7 straight for LA over New York. Haley playing in his 38th game this year. Oakley gets them both. Knicks lead it by 5, 7-10 remaining in the first. Divac moves way on top. They wheel it around to Scott over Wilkins.
That's what they need. Byron Scott to make a few baskets. He had 22 in the game in Los Angeles.
And quickly McDaniel launches the shot. Haley with the rebound. Ewing picks his pocket and draws the foul. And we've got a timeout. 6:54 remaining in the first. The Knicks have a 3-point advantage. 13-10 over the Lakers. The Stars are out tonight. I'm not very big on names, but I do know that is my man Bruce Hornsby sitting there on the left, Doug, wherever he is. Kim Basinger, good personal friend of ours, and Alec Baldwin. And I hope my wife still has the TV on with Alec Baldwin on. The Lakers, Doug, already 5 team fouls.
Well, one of the strengths of the Los Angeles Lakers has been that they have made over 300 more free throws than their opponents this year, so this does not bode well early in the ball game. New York getting to the free throw line. They will shoot free throws the rest of this quarter, so let's see if they can continue to pound it inside.
Well, New York's 7 of 8 now from the line already. Ewing has already made 6 trips to the line. He's 5 of 6. He has 7 points, and the lead is 5. 6:45 left in the first. Reed, the double team. Ewing has to drop back quickly before the illegal D is called. Shot clock at 6. LA milking the clock. Threet takes it strong to the hole off the glass.
Sedale did a nice job. Ewing jumped out big, and Sedale just used his quickness to get around him. A nice little floater off the glass.
The lead is 3.
Got to go inside. Ewing against Divac. You've got the foul situation. Make something happen in there.
Divac's got a piece of it. Ewing got it right back and drops it down for his second field goal of the ball game.
Patrick Ewing is going to have a big night. I don't think Vlade is healthy enough right now to be able to stay with him. You've got Perkins in foul trouble. Eldon Campbell in foul trouble. You've got to continue to go to Ewing and force the Lakers to stop him.
He was 4 of 18 in game 1 between these two teams, in which the Knicks shot 36% of the ball game. Divac from way outside, way short, tracks down his own rebound. Lakers have it as Patrick Ewing knocks it out.
You can just see Vlade does not have his strength yet. After the back surgery, I've read where his right leg is weak, and if you look at it, you can see that the muscle tone is not quite back. So it's going to be a while for him to play himself back into shape, something the Lakers just don't have a lot of time to allow him to do.
3. Wilkins tries to get a hand on him, but Sedale Threet now with 4 points in the ball game closes the gap back down to 3. Jackson, Threet giving him a lot of room. Divac switches over to Oakley, puts Haley on Ewing with the shot clock at 9. Patrick, the strong move into the paint. That is a piece of cake for the big guy.
Well, Patrick right now, his eyes are about the size of saucers. He sees that no one out here can play him. The Lakers are going to have to force, I don't know if it's a double or triple team, they've got to force him to give the ball up. Those are point-blank shots that he's going to shoot about 75% with.
Well, right now, he's 3 of 5 for 11 points. The double team, Scott gets caught in a pickle, gets it inside to Haley. Divac cleans it up.
The Lakers do have 3 offensive rebounds. That's a positive sign to start this quarter.
Jackson, the net rips. Jackson with 4. The lead is back to 5. The first of a 5-game road trip for the Lakers. A rugged 5-game road trip, which includes a couple of back-to-backers. Divac off the back of the iron. Oakley whips it down to Ewing. Not fast enough, Patrick.
That was one of Charles' sidearm screwballs. He threw that one from about his hip, and that ball curved in 3 different directions. Patrick Ewing could not track it down.
His Sid Fernandez impression.
The thought was right. It was just a bad pass.
The gumption was there. The towards was off.
Yeah, correct.
Lakers play at Atlanta tomorrow night. The Knicks, on the other hand, after a rugged month following the All-Star break, or rugged couple of weeks following the All-Star break, they don't play again for a couple of days, so they're in good shape. 3, the basket, and the foul.
Boy, Sedale's having a big first quarter. He realizes he has the speed and quickness advantage over Mark Jackson. He's getting the ball to the free throw line and burying the little jump shot. Watch Sedale here. He gets himself a little step back move, quickness, explodes into his shot, knocks it down. That's a nice play by Sedale. Three-point play opportunity.
He's hit his last 3 shots, and he completes the 3-point play. So Threet now with 7 points, leading the Lakers and trying to keep them close in this ball game. Nearing the 4-minute mark, Knicks lead it by 2. Jackson cuts toward the hole. The opening's there, and he takes advantage of it.
See, I like what Pat Riley did there. He gave Mark Jackson a chance to go back at Sedale. Sedale's punishing him on this end. He says, we're going to make Sedale play a little defense. So now Sedale tries to go right back at him. You've got to be very careful right now and not get into a tit-for-tat game.
Great no-look pass, and Wilkins completes it. The hustle of Patrick Ewing on that play was very impressive, Doug. He didn't get the ball, but he beat everybody else down the court, and we've got a timeout. The fans of the Garden like it. 6-point lead for New York with 3:28 left in the first. The biggest lead for the Knicks. We'll be back.
Manu Waipuna, 3.6 million years in the making. It should be ready just in time for the new Jeep.
It's Domino's new better-tasting pizza.
More melted cheese, big batter toppings, tender tasty crust.
More melted cheese, big better toppings,
Tender tastier crust.
Try a medium with unlimited toppings now. Just
Don't go to the video store. Let us deliver new releases like The Rocketeer right to your home.
Hand over the rocket.
The Rocketeer.
Go get him, kid.
To order The Rocketeer, check your cable bill for your pay-per-view guide and let the movies come to you.
The best movies day and night are on cable TV, from MGM Films on TNT and the Lifetime Afternoon movies to world premiere movies on the USA Network. It's movie madness all the time. The cable presentation of these great movies is brought to you in part by your Washington area Acura dealers. Test drive the car that sells itself at your nearest Washington area Acura dealer today.
Take a look at the hustle of the New York Knicks. Patrick Ewing in your picture right now. You're going to see him hustle out. You do not see him right now. It's actually a 2-on-2 break. Ewing hustles, forces Byron Scott to make a decision. Gerald Wilkins with the reverse slam dunk. So the play of Patrick Ewing here early in the game, I think he's trying to atone for the egg that he laid out in the forum when he shot 4 for 18. They scored 68 points as a team. He's coming out with quite a bit of energy tonight, and it's very apparent here with a big first quarter.
He's doing everything a coach could ask right now as Sedale Threet with Vlade Divac way on top. Still the same 5 in for the Lakers. McDaniel on Green. Inside to Haley. The turnaround, and he buries it. Well, the former UCLA Bruin gets on the board, his first 2 of the contest. Wilkins to McDaniel. McDaniel goes baseline on Vlade Divac, and Vlade did not have that quick step.
Yeah, you can just see he couldn't get there yet. In all fairness to Vlade, he's trying to play himself back into shape after the back surgery, and right now he's probably about 70% if you were to really be honest.
Mike Dunleavy said that's a real predicament for him. Do you keep him in there, let him breathe hard and sweat, or do you take him out and try to win the ball game? Not that you're losing it with Vlade in there, but kind of a catch-22. The 3 won't go. Divac with the rebound, fresh 24.
It's 4 offensive rebounds first quarter for the Lakers, so they're doing a better job getting some second shot opportunities.
New York packs it in. Divac tries to force the pass to Green. The turnover. Lakers fewest turnovers in the NBA per game at 12.8. That's their 3rd tonight. McDaniel hangs in the air for the 2. He has 8.
Well, 2 jumpers, 2 drives. So X has got both parts of his game going tonight. 22nd timeout by the Lakers. So I think Mike Dunleavy feeling the crowd starting to get into the ball game. The Knicks making a little bit of a run. They lead by 8. He's trying to get his team back together.
Well, they've hit their last 7 shots, the Knicks have, and that is why Mike Dunleavy calls a timeout. Now, the Lakers began the season without having a losing month in 12 years. But in February, they matched the worst month since moving to LA back in 1960, and that ties the January 76 mark, which was the last time the Lakers missed the playoffs and the last time they were under 500.
When you're hitting the jumper, you've got to come up and play the guy. When you come up to play him, X-Man uses his quickness against Jack Haley, gets in the lane, no help, and the easy score. So X-Man and Patrick Ewing off to a big first quarter. I think they've combined, what, 19 points here between them?
19 points. There is the front court scoring 21-12 in favor of the Knicks. They lead it by 8, 1 second inside of 2 minutes. Lakers, who have already lost as many games as they had all last season, trying to get back into it, as 3 is the only offensive weapon they have now with 9. John Starks getting set to check into the lineup for the Knicks. Wilkins with the shot clock inside of 10. Sizes up Scott. Threet bumps him hard. Wilkins takes it strong.
That was a forced shot. Gerald had nothing there, had to lean in and try to get the shot up to beat the clock. Boy, Sedale looks frisky tonight. He's really looking pretty.
He's shaking and
bouncing everywhere.
Not going anywhere, but he is bouncing. Green from deep in the corner for 2.
My hips are sore from watching all those gyrations he just went on in the first quarter.
He is dancing out there.
He is so quick.
Well, the lead is 4 nearing the 1 minute mark. Haley picks it away from Ewing. Looks for the break. It isn't there. Fans wanted to travel. Even Spike Lee got up. Now Threet, the switch. Jackson stays with him. Scott on Wilkins. And Gerald Wilkins reaches out the hand, and he picks up his first personal foul, only the 3rd team foul, as checking into the lineup now, Anthony Mason, number 14 for New York, the 3rd-year pro out of Tennessee State, and John Starks, the most famous Cowboy of Oklahoma State.
New York actually improves their team speed with substitutions. You have John Starks and Anthony Mason coming in, so look for them to try to get out and run even more than they already have. Mason really fills the lane nicely for a big guy.
Divac has been way off on all his shots, and there's Ewing again. He beat everybody down again, Doug.
Well, Patrick Ewing released on the outside jump shot by Vlade Divac. None of the guards or no one from the Lakers rotated back. Someone's got to protect back against that, because the Knicks still have strong rebounding on the floor with Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason, and Starks. They still are capable of rebounding the ball. Someone's got to pick Ewing up.
Green fakes the 3, takes it inside. Shot clock at 2. Ewing puts it right back. Shot clock will go off. And with 3.9 on the clock, the Knicks have it. The crowd loves it. He doesn't.
See if they add another second. I think another second went off. I think they're going to probably get about 4.9, maybe even 5.
It's a lot of time.
The game clock will be reset at 4.7 seconds.
4.7, so they'll put 0.8 of a second on the board. The Lakers playing 8 of 15 games in March on the road. They have 22 games left, and currently 13 of those 22 are above 500. Here comes Jackson, tries to get around 3. 1 second left, puts it up, count it! It's a 2, and it goes. We've played 12 minutes. The Knicks have an 8-point advantage, 33-25. We'll be back to the Garden in New York after this. Stay with us. We played 1 quarter at the Garden in New York, and the Knicks lead it by 8. Other scores from around the NBA. Denver on top of Orlando by 5. That's an intermission. Boston leading Miami by 2, also at halftime. Minnesota and Charlotte all tied up at 53 apiece, and Phoenix on top of Cleveland by 8. Of course, Cleveland without Craig Elo, as Ernie Johnson mentioned, and Indiana over Washington by 11, also at intermission. Ernie will have all the scores and highlights coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report.
Ron, we go through the first quarter highlights. The Lakers did a good job on the board. They had 5 offensive rebounds, 9 rebounds to 8, so they out-rebounded New York, but New York shot 65% in the first quarter. LA a respectable 48%. Fast break points 10-0 in favor of New York, so New York has the tempo where they want it. It's 33 points, which is a big first quarter. Remember, only 68 did they score out in Los Angeles, so they have the tempo where they want it. They'd like to keep it running and pushing it up the floor, forcing the Lakers into a running game.
Well, Patrick Ewing, the only starter that remains in the lineup for New York is Greg Anthony, the rookie out of UNLV, checks in, as does Kiki Vandeweghe. We have a whistle and a foul. There's a good look at Anthony.
Sedale is really active offensively. I think he realizes he's going to have to pick up the slack here for this team and look to score some points, but he is very, very active, looking to penetrate and take his shot, which I think is very important for this Laker team, rather than have him be so passive and look strictly just for the assists.
Well, Perkins is checked back into the lineup, playing with 2 personal fouls, and also Terry Teagle. We get our first look at the former Baylor player, wearing number 20. Three looking inside for Perkins. The double team.
Five turnovers. 5 turnovers for the Lakers. They only average a little less than 13 a game. So one of the things they don't do is turn the ball over. They're 1 in the league and taking care of the ball.
Haley, good defense on Patrick Ewing, able to step in front for the steal. Here comes 3. Has it knocked away? I don't think anybody touched it. Daryl Garrison says New York has it. I think he just tried to switch hands with it.
Well, you see 6 turnovers, and what's happening is the Lakers are doing something they're not accustomed to doing. They're running with the basketball, and as a result, they've made some turnovers. So they're sort of between a rock and a hard place right now. They're in a game that they're going to have to run to get some easy baskets, and they're just turning the ball over.
Starks pulls the trigger, and he gets his first 2. Say, when you talk about the running, that's where you show where like a Magic or a team leader is not there to make that right decision on the transition game.
Decision making, right pass, right time to the right person. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into being a good fast break team.
Inside to Haley, has it tipped away. Green battles for the rebound. Good job, AC Green underneath, but we have a whistle and a foul.
Well, I like the Lakers' aggressiveness on the offensive board. 7 offensive rebounds now in the ball game. So I'm sure the next time out, Pat Riley's going to talk to his team about it's one thing to run, but we must rebound the ball before we run. And Ron, sometimes what happens is you think about running so much that you forget that you have to rebound the ball. Oakley, who is a tremendous rebounder, coming back in for Patrick Ewing.
And Ewing will take a seat. He finished with 13 points in that first quarter. Didn't score here early in the second as the Knicks lead by 10. 10:35 left.
See New York actually going without a center now. They've got Oakley and Mason, 2 big, strong players along with Vandeweghe on the front line.
A 3-by-3, and he nails it. So Sedale 3, who came in shooting just 33% from the arc, is now 5 of 8 for the game.
I think Sedale's got a little personal battle going with Greg Anthony and Mark Jackson, both of them. He's doing a lot of talking tonight. Now Anthony's coming back at him.
And AC Green just took an elbow in the eye as Charles Oakley gets his first 2.
Charles Oakley just popped AC Green. Let's keep our eye on that matchup, see if AC tries to go back and get a shot at Charles.
Anthony Mason now on AC Green is 3, shaking and baking and dancing again.
Spinning jump shot, here it comes by Teagle. No, that time he gives it up.
He wasn't close enough to the baseline.
Yeah, he likes
that baseline.
Yes, he does.
Perkins was 6. The lead is down to 7. Knicks have led by as many as 10. Chucky Brown will come in for the Lakers. They have the numbers of 5-on-2 if they take advantage. Teagle, the baseline, doesn't get it. Green had the offensive rebound and lost it.
You got to love AC Green. The guy gives you everything he has. Goes strong to the boards, just is not able to control it, but a terrific effort.
AC Green was replaced last year in the starting lineup by Sam Perkins and really grew accustomed to that role off the bench, provided a lot of firepower, and this year he was asked to move back into the starting rotation.
Ron, I really think they miss his energy coming off the bench. He was one of those guys that you could bring him in and he would energize your team off the bench. He did not feel like he had to start. They missed that.
Greg Anthony, a little Las Vegas showboat, doesn't get it. We have a foul. And I think it's on the Knicks.
It's going to be on Charles Oakley. They finally caught him. The last time they didn't get him. This time they did.
They got him. So Oakley picks up his first personal foul. And now Greg Anthony will put a little pressure on Threed on the inbounds. That's quickness against quickness there. Threed almost had him. Almost lost it.
Speed. I wonder what it feels like to move that fast.
I'll never know.
Nor will I.
No.
Again.
In my dreams.
One day I felt a little bit like that, not anywhere close anymore.
Excellent move inside. Starks can't get it. He'll try it again. Mason got it.
We were blocked out, but I think Charles Oakley made a beautiful pass.
And AC Green comes down, count the basket, and he gets the foul. Well, we had a little bit of action on both ends.
Let's see what happens. We were blocked out on this play. I think someone made a great pass. Here's Oakley, pump fake, and Charles with the no-look wraparound. Charles doesn't jump that high to stay in the air long enough to do that.
He's the thick piece of toast under the sneakers.
I got to talk to Charles. I've never seen him make that kind of pass.
That's the kind of pass that got you out of coaching, didn't it?
Yeah, really. Gray hairs and all.
6-point Laker disadvantages. Vandeweghe can't get it to go. Haley tips it out. New York will have it.
When Mason and Charles Oakley working very hard on the offensive board, the Lakers are going to have to do a better job. The guys have had their hands down on about the last 3 shots that have been missed. So the initial defense has been good, but the Lakers are not cleaning up the defensive backboard.
AC Green sits down. Chucky Brown, the third-year pro out of North Carolina State, checks in. Was waived by Cleveland earlier this year, signed by the Lakers on December 5th. Also checking in Tony Smith, number 34.
They expected big things from Tony Smith this year. He hurt his ankle early in the season and really was subpar for about 35 ball games, never really recovered. And I'm not sure his ankle still is where he'd like for it to be, because they expected big things of him in the preseason. He had a very, very good training camp.
And he played extremely well last year when Magic Johnson went down, had to step in him.
I think they finding out, though, he's really not a point guard. He's more of a tweener. He's a guy that can score and take it to the basket, but not a great shooter.
Anthony goes high on the layup, can't finish it off. Brown with the rebound. He's double teamed, and he's going to be fouled, and I think that'll be on Greg Anthony, and it is, and that'll be his second personal foul.
That was a payback foul. Greg Anthony upset, feeling he did not get the call, so he took out his frustrations and picked up his second personal.
Greg Anthony wearing number 2, as does Stacey Augmon and Larry Johnson, because that was Jerry Tarkanian's number at Fresno State. Chucky Brown will go to the line. Was originally a second-round draft pick back in '89 by the Cavaliers. Gets the first.
Chucky, a 48% free throw shooter. Statistics bear out. That means he will miss this one. They do not, as he makes 2 for 2.
He's in his heyday. He and Jack Haley probably have some serious free throw shooting contests and shoot-arounds. Starks loses the handle. Shot clock at 8.
Good ball movement to Starks for the 3. That was good ball movement, though. Good penetrating drive by Vandeweghe. Finds Anthony, and the rotation finds John Starks. Made the unselfish pass.
Inside Smith. That is what we saw last year.
Right there. They're taking it to the basket. He's got a big, strong body. Can finish.
Anthony from 17, and he gets his jump shot to go down. That's his first 2 of the ball game. 4-point Laker lead, or 4-point New York lead. 7:04 left to be played in the half. Hey, the Lakers are hanging tough.
Yes, they are. They've done a better job defensively. They've taken away the fast break game of the New York Knicks, forcing them to set up.
Teagle, no basket. We've got a whistle on a foul. That foul was on Teagle. That's his first, and we have a timeout. 6:54 remaining to be played in the second quarter, and the Lakers are staying close. They trail by just 4. Now, back in October, Doug, you and I did the McDonald's Open in Paris, and this was the starting lineup for the Lakers.
Well, the Lakers were very excited about their team because they thought they now had a great starting team, and then this is what has happened now since then. You know, the starting lineup for tonight, no James Worthy. You have AC Green, Lottie injured, Eldon Campbell in his spot, the retirement of Magic Johnson, Sedale Threet. So your bench, where it was hoping to be AC Green, Campbell, and Threet, are now starters. So you know, the Lakers, and speaking to them over in Paris, felt they had a great chance to contend for the NBA championship. And it's just been a tragic year with all the things that has happened, but they're hanging tough tonight.
I'll tell you, that was an interesting possibility. You put Threet, Scott, and Johnson in a 3-guard offense. Not to be. Vandeweghe outside, doesn't get it. Haley with the rebound. Doing yeoman's work tonight for Jack Haley.
You have AC Green coming off the bench, and Eldon Campbell, and Terry Teagle. They all of a sudden become a very deep team.
It is a very fragile game.
Yes, it is.
Brown outside, and he buries it over the outstretched hands of Kiki Vandeweghe.
A friend of mine once said that every NBA team is a ligament tear away from mediocrity.
Cleveland would attest to that. LA on a 9-2 run. Last year, Mark Price going down. Dominique Wilkins with the Hawks this year with the Achilles. Good pass inside. Jackson to Ewing, who hurts the rim.
Boy, Patrick's going to rip the basket down.
Oh, put a Band-Aid on that baby.
That's about 3 of those dunks he's had tonight, and we can hear the snapback rim all the way over here.
He's 5 of 7. Teagle, his favorite spot, and he gets it.
You can put a little X over there on Terry
it.
Teagle's like a homing pigeon. He goes to those same spots on the floor.
We used to check for masking tape in horse games on that. 2-point, Nick Lee, 5:40 left. Vandeweghe on the drive around everybody.
That was a great head and shoulder fake by Kiki Vandeweghe. He had to respect the shot. Tony Smith went for it, allowed him to get to the basket. Tremendous up fake.
Pat Riley says when Kiki Vandeweghe scores, that opens up a lot of different possibilities for the team as Xavier McDaniel will come back in. Gerald Wilkins also coming back into the next lineup.
You know, Ron, when we talked to Pat Riley today, as I went through the stat sheet, they have Ewing in the middle. They know what they're going to give him, and then they have basically 8 other guys that they play, and they play 2 at a position. The Starks and Wilkins, Mason and Oakley, and Anthony and Mark Jackson, Vandeweghe, and Xavier McDaniel. So they really have a pair at each other position, which gives them some pretty good versatility.
Pat Riley at the beginning of the year wanted Patrick Ewing to work on his hook. The work has paid off. Ewing has hit his last 4 shots. He now has 17 first-half points. Remember, he only had like 9 in the first meeting between these two. They give Perkins the shot. He says, thank you very much, I'll take it. Perkins now with 8. 4-point New York Knicks lead, 4:45 left as the Lakers have already committed 9 turnovers in the ballgame. That's been one of the difference.
Lakers have not committed a foul in this quarter, too, so they've kept them off the free throw line, which has allowed them to get back in the game, Ron. So the fouls are changing this quarter.
Jack Haley, his 3rd rebound. He only averages 2 a game. Inside, Brown can't get it to roll. Ball goes out. It belongs to the Lakers. Campbell will check back into the lineup. Jack Haley, an excellent job in the minutes he was in.
He did a very good job, played it solid defense, did a nice job around the boards. Banged, pushed, and shoved in there and bought some minutes. So fine job by Jack Haley, and Sam Perkins stepping out, showing us he has great range on that jump shot.
Perkins now with 10. Has hit his last 5 shots. Back to a 2-point advantage. The Knicks led by as many as 10.
Want to isolate against Campbell, looking to go inside against Ewing.
Brown was on Ewing. That's almost a mismatch. Into the hands of Perkins as the shot clock goes off. Doesn't matter. The Lakers with a 3-on-3. Smith to Brown. Baseline. Tries a little reverse. Ill-advised. Forced it. Here comes Wilkins. Showtime, folks. Oh, he did dunk it.
Mishandled the ball. He couldn't quite get a grasp of it to go up and dunk the ball. Chucky Brown is over-penetrating, though, Ron. It's about 2 turnovers. He's got in the lane, and he's just been engulfed inside by the big people. He's got to pull up and take the shot.
Wonder if Dominique will give little brother some grief on that one. Here comes Jackson. Has Mason on the left. Ewing. Alley-oop. Oh, you saw it too, but it ends up Anthony the Beast Mason.
Oh, Ewing wanted that when he did get it to Mason, but you could see Patrick's eyes. Throw it up, throw it up.
We were looking right at him. Now Mike Dunleavy's telling his team they want a timeout and to slow it up. And they'll do just that. 3:05 left to be played in the first half. The Knicks have put on a little spurt. They lead it by 6, and we'll be back.
Patrick Ewing out on the fast break. You're going to see the nice outlet and Mark Jackson. Anthony Mason filling the left lane, and you see Ewing. Here he's getting his steps together. You see him. He'd like to get the alley-oop. Sam Perkins very aware of that. He finds Anthony Mason. He gets the dunk. This is 2 of the 16 transition fast break points New York has to only 3 by the Lakers. Lakers are being hurt by 10 turnovers that have led to 14 New York points.
Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. And right now, Patrick Ewing, the leading contender for that.
Mark Jackson's had a very solid first half also. 4 for 5 from the field, 8 points with 6 assists. So he's doing a very solid job out running the team, getting them into the fast break, giving them some easy opportunities.
Brown launches one from 17, and Chucky Brown, who came into the game shooting 48%, has 6 points now, 4 above his average.
The only time he's got himself into trouble tonight is when he's over-penetrated, got inside, and made a couple turnovers. Just pull up and take the shot. You've got to trust it.
That opens up the penetration also.
Absolutely.
Brown comes over on the double team. Ewing tries to get it inside of McDaniel. Here comes Terry Teagle. He has Mark Jackson to beat. And Mark Jackson will just grab him and hold on. Jackson's second personal foul.
That's a good foul by Mark Jackson. He didn't want to get an easy basket. Terry Teagle is a 72% free throw shooter. So you play the percentages, make the guy earn them both at the free throw line. So nice play and a nice hustle by Mark Jackson.
Terry Teagle, who I'm not so sure, Doug, he's really become accustomed to coming off the bench. He was a starter for so long as he gets the first.
I think one thing you have to do with Terry Teagle and Mike Dunleavy realize this: when you put him in the game, you've got to go to him and you've got to let him try to score. And if he's cold, you take him out and you bring him back again later, and you try to go to him and get some points. The tough thing is they've got a lot of post players on this team, so there's a lot of guys that want to occupy that post area. Terry Teagle really is a 6'4", 6'5" post-up player, so he's not a guy you run off a lot of screens for offense.
Oakley came back into the lineup. Anthony Mason sat down. McDaniel from about 20, a little bit too strong. The ball tipped by the Lakers. The Knicks have it. Coming up at halftime, of course, the Prudential halftime report. Ernie Johnson in our studios in Atlanta with scores and highlights from around the league, including the Celtics, Heat, the Bullets, and the Pacers. Plus, we'll give you a little bit of bonus coverage tonight. All coming up with EJ in just about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Jackson penetrates into Oakley. He doesn't get the shot. Bodies all over the place. Ends up in the hands of McDaniel, who gets the two.
2 minutes.
LA shooting 53% now for the ball game. New York 55%. As we mentioned, the Lakers haven't shot 50% much this year, only 10 times for the whole season. Brown, the high arcer, but he's fouled on the play.
What a difference a quarter make. Remember, we talked about the free throw shooting in the first quarter. I remember at one point in time the Knicks had made 7 for 8. The Lakers do not have a foul in this quarter. They're getting to the free throw line, stopping the clock, allowing them to get their defense set. So this quarter has belonged to the Los Angeles Lakers in terms of tempo. The Lakers had, gave up 33 in the first quarter. The Knicks now resting on 53 points, so they've cut it down to 20 points in this quarter.
Very athletic Chucky Brown, who led the ACC in rebounding his senior year. He is 4 for 4 from the line. He has 8 points, and that ties his season high.
The Lakers 10 for 10 from the free throw line, 7 for 7 this quarter. So the free throw line has been good to them once again.
But Ewing elevates above the crowd, and Ewing now with 19 points. 6 here in this quarter, and he's hit his last 6 shots.
The one thing Patrick is doing tonight is he's going up quickly with his shot, which is really forcing the Lakers into a tough situation. They can't get back quickly enough to double team him, and there's not one guy on this team that can handle him. So Patrick has it his own way underneath the basket.
To Perkins, Oakley on him. Perkins with the long arms. He's a southpaw. Leans in, doesn't get the roll. The ball tipped out to McDaniel.
4-on-1.
Here
5-on-none.
Another rim racker. This time Oakley gets it. He has 6 for the ball game.
You know, I really like what Gerald Wilkins did that time. Gerald Wilkins has been struggling. He's only averaging about 5 points a game in the last 5 or 6 games, but he gave the ball up to Charles Oakley. Now what this will do is Oakley will screen like crazy to help him get shots. That's the way you help your big guys, and I really like what Wilkins did. It was a very unselfish play. I'm not so sure last year he would have made that same play.
Shot only 35% the last 4 games, as you mentioned, Doug, and we've got a whistle and a foul.
I think Pat Riley's done a good job with his team of not only hard-working and well-conditioned, but they're also very unselfish. Their assists are up this year. They're making the extra pass, and I think a lot of that credit goes to Pat Riley and the attitude that he's instilled into this team.
Well, that was one of the things he talked about at the beginning of the year, getting team chemistry and a little more unity in this ball club. Ewing, or Perkins at the line, his first trip.
Well, Ron, this is a very difficult city to keep unity, and because New York is a very demanding press, and they look for any little thing that could maybe fragment your team. And so as a result, these guys have to continually stick together. Anytime you lose 2 or 3 games, that's when you're really going to be tested in a city like New York because of all the competition with the press.
Sam Perkins averaging 16.6. That's his biggest average in his NBA career. Prior to this season, only 15.9 was his highest average. He gets them both, and he has 12.
And I think New York is one of those cities, Ron, that when you're going well, there's no other place you'd rather play. And then when you're going badly, you'd like to go on the road because it's tough.
That's the time remaining in the game. Lower right-hand portion of your screen. Wilkins sizing up Perkins. The double team.
Better get it up.
McDaniel has to dish it off. Shot clock at 2. The 3 will be way short. Oakley won't get it off. 24-second violation. The Lakers will have it with 19.5 left in the half. Pat Riley up by 4. They led by as many as 10.
Now the Lakers, the last 2 possessions they've done in the ball game like this, they've gone to screen roll with Sedale Threet. Let's see if they go screen roll with Threet and Sam Perkins. Perkins is a threat to step out and shoot the 3-point shot. Let's see if they go to that.
Threet on Jackson. He looks up at the shot clock. Threet backs up. Ewing comes over to help. Perkins finds the lane, slapped away by Oakley.
He stepped out to the 3-point line. On the rotation, Oakley came running at him. He looked to take the ball to the basket, so it was a very well executed play, and Sam Perkins again back to the free throw line. So here's Oakley reaching around from behind to get the foul. So Sam Perkins at the line to shoot 2 with 1.8 seconds remaining in the first half.
LA 9 for 9 from the free throw line in the second period as Rory Sparrow up off the bench for the Lakers. Perkins, who grew up in Brooklyn, has an NCAA title to his credit, a Pan Am title, a U.S. Olympic gold medal back in the '84 games. Rory Sparrow checks into the lineup, and a 20-second timeout called by the Knicks. Perkins now with 13 points, and he's cut the lead down to 3 with 1.8 left. Well, the Los Angeles Lakers, as we mentioned, 31-29 on the year. This is a rather difficult year for this ball club.
Ron, when you look at the stats, the Lakers are out-rebounded over 4 rebounds a game. They have 4 less assists a game than their opponents. They're averaging almost 2 points a game less. They're shooting 44% from the floor, 27% from the 3-point line, averaging under 100 points a game, and are 31-29. Now you tell me how those numbers lead into that. I mean, if you looked at those numbers, I said, Ron, here are those numbers, what's this team record? You'd say, oh, about 15-50.
Yeah, really. That's the credit to Bill Burtka, Randy Funn, Jim Ian, and of course Mike Dunleavy, the head coach of the Lakers.
If the Lakers do not foul here in the last 1.8, they've gone this whole quarter without committing a foul.
Perkins perfect from the line, and he continues that trend. 14 first half points for Perkins. The lead is 2. Jackson will let it fly, but it'll be way short. 24 minutes. We have seen the Knicks go out on a streak, and we've seen the Lakers come back. We still have 24 left to be played, but at halftime, the Knicks lead it by 2. Stay with us. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential halftime report, and then the second half from the Garden in New York.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. And by Levi's Dockers. Nobody does color like Dockers.
The Lexus Coupe can be equipped with a cellular phone that allows you to dial, answer, and hang up without ever letting go of the wheel, proving once you get your hands on a Lexus, they tend to stay that way.
Tan. From mocha to khaki, beige to desert sand, tan's a color with 1,000 faces. A color that always seems to say, hey pal, how about me? And you say, of course. Tan. Couldn't be easier. And nobody does tan like Dockers.
It's Domino's new better tasting pizza.
More melted cheese, big batter toppings, tender, tastier crust.
More melted cheese.
Big batter toppings.
Tender, tastier crust. Try a medium with unlimited toppings now just $9.99.
I used to have dandruff, so I tried Head and Shoulders. Then I tried Selsun Blue. Blue is better.
Selsun Blue relieves dandruff flaking better than Head and Shoulders, and doctors recommend it more than Head and Shoulders, Denorex, and Tegrin.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue.
We'll update all the NBA hoops on a busy Tuesday night next on the Prudential Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Among the 12 games on the slate, the Celtics, unbeaten since Bird's return, are in Miami. Indiana, 10-5 since the break, is home against Washington. And we'll take you live to Richfield Coliseum for bonus coverage of the Suns and Cavs.
They come together to compete. Every day, they challenge their limitations. Striving for excellence, they find what is special in sports and in themselves. Join the NBA in supporting all Olympic athletes. They're special.
Can you tell me where I can get cash with this?
Go down this way and you make a right.
Cash?
You know, the thing is, with that card, I don't know where. That's the problem.
Looking for cash without MasterCard isn't exactly easy.
And there's a closet store there. Now you go through that closet store, they don't buy.
But with MasterCard, you can get cash just about anywhere at nearly 200,000 bank branches and 60,000 ATMs. So count on MasterCard and master the moment.
Dirt road.
My association with Pennzoil over the years is a very special one. It's a special one because of the product. Pennzoil was such a part of the family and the vehicles that we used when I was a youth. Not being a very wealthy family, we had to take care of the equipment and take very good care of it so it lasted a long time. And that's why we used Pennzoil as much as we did. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality.
It happens every morning in London, Paris, and Madrid. In Munich, Manchester, Zurich, and Brussels. In Glasgow, Stockholm, Frankfurt, Milan, and soon Berlin. As the new day arrives, so do we. American Airlines, with the most non-stops to Europe from across the U.S. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
The Prudential Halftime Report is brought to you by The Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid. The Prudential.
They are halfway home at the Garden in New York, where the Knicks lead the Lakers by a deuce. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Prudential Halftime Report. NBA nights don't get any busier than this one. 24 of the league's 27 teams going at it. We'll begin our trip in Miami. The Heat within striking distance of an Eastern Conference playoff spot, taking on the Celtics. Now, with Larry Bird back, Boston hasn't been beaten, winning by an average of 18 points. Tonight we go to Miami Arena. Somebody's got to guard Kevin Gamble. The back door's wide open, folks, and D. Brown spots him. Gamble lays it in. Celtics built a 14-point lead, but back comes Miami. Glenn Rice having a great year. 15 points in the first half. Gets a 3-point play there as the Heat cuts the lead to 1. Back come the Celtics at Sherman Douglas. First time playing against his old mates. Lays it in off the feed from McHale. And now Larry Bird with the save, but Reggie Lewis doesn't do much with it. Bimbo Coles does. Get up there, number 12. He jams it down. Miami had a 20-5 run, and right now in the third period, it's 61-56. Miami with the lead over Boston. Washington Bullets, Indiana Pacers. A winter wonderland, Indianapolis. Lots of snow up there near Market Square. Pacers on the break. Look at that nice move. Inside, Reggie Miller from Chuck Person. Now Washington going to put the old double team on Chuck, and they'll come away with the steal. Michael Adams, number 7 in the league in assists, shows you why. Great look to Purvis Ellison. He had 15 points in the first half. They're up by 1, but Indiana has a 9-2 run. Detlef Schrempf camps the break. They're up by 11 at the half, and right now in the third, it remains the margin, 69-58, Indiana over Washington. Atlanta Hawks and San Antonio Spurs. Bob Bass, the guys have played 16-7 ball since he took over for Larry Brown. Terry Cummings, just give it to the Admiral. He'll take care of matters. He lays it in. Bob Weiss's Hawks come back with Alexander Volkov, getting some PT now with Dominique Wilkins out of there. Nice feed to Kevin Willis, who about tears it down. But back come the San Antonio Spurs. Play some good D inside, and then Sean Elliott hits Rod Strickland. Now, Kevin Willis almost gets a piece of this, but Strickland gets it up and over. 6-point lead for the Spurs right now as they go to the second period. It is San Antonio 22-16 over the Hawks. And also the Milwaukee Bucks, who are on the outside looking in at that Eastern Conference playoff picture right now, trailing Portland in the second period 29-18. And when the Prudential Halftime Report continues, bonus coverage. We will take you live to Richfield Coliseum for one of the best matchups of the night, the Suns and the Cavs.
constant change, there is one certainty: the financial strength of the rock. The Prudential, rock solid.
At the break, at the Garden, the Knicks 57, the Lakers 55 here on TNT as the Prudential halftime report continues. Pretty good matchup at Richfield Coliseum tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers playing host to the Phoenix Suns. We told you earlier about Craig Elo going down. He has not returned and will not tonight. Cleveland was down. They've come back to narrow the gap. Pretty good ball game. Lenny Wilkins, guys, 22-5 at home. Here's Craig Elo and Mark Price and Brad Doherty hooking up. 7-point lead for the Cavs in the first. Now, late in the first, watch how Phoenix just goes down here to beat the buzzer. Easy as you please. Thunder Dan Marley throws it down. Second period, here's where Elo got hurt. He bangs knees with Dan Marley. Elo down. He hobbled off the court. It's a strained left knee. He will not be back tonight. Mark Price, you don't see this very often, an air ball. And Phoenix responds on the break. Steve Burt all by his lonesome. They're up by 9 at the half. Right now in the third period, 72-68. A good one going at Richfield Coliseum. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup. Look at the record since the All-Star break. Haven't been burning it up. The Suns just 7-7, the Cavs 8-6. Both teams good offensively in the top 10, but look at Phoenix allowing 106 points in a game, and that is 17th in the league. As far as the Western Conference playoff picture goes, the Phoenix Suns right now are number 4, and they're holding on by a game and a half over San Antonio for home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Phoenix is 4th, San Antonio 5th. You see Seattle, Houston, and the Lakers, who you're watching tonight. Now, let's take a look at bonus coverage. We're going to go live to Richfield Coliseum. You got the Cavs, you got the Suns, you got Al McCoy and Dick Van Arsdale.
Kevin Johnson out of backcourt. KJ right side. Put it up from 20 and get it. Kevin Johnson.
Pulled up to take the jumper, and he's been much more effective recently when he does that.
Suns without a true center here, but Cleveland going without Brad Doherty right now. Matching up. We'll see what happens as we go along. Battle in the corner. Moves in for a 15-footer. Rolls around and goes. Battle scores. Suns with the lineup here of Tom Chambers, Dan Marley, Kurt Rambis, Tim Perry, and Kevin Johnson. Steve Kerr out defensively on KJ, who sets up on the right side. Looks low for Rambis. Pass deflected. Marley saves the day. Turns, shoots, and scores. 5-footer right out front.
Marley was so alert on that because he saw the deflection, and he was the only one to really notice to go get it.
76-70. The Suns lead it. 25 points for Dan Marley. Here comes Steve Kerr over to the left side. Stops the dribble. Goes low to Nance. Nance against Tim Perry. Out front to Battle. Battle breaks loose inside as he drives. He shoots. He scores. Count it. The basket is good, and the foul is on Kurt Rambis. Mark Price replacing Steve Kerr now for Cleveland.
Battle is a great pickup for Cleveland. He comes off the bench. He can shoot off-balance shots. He's very strong. And off the bench, he averages in double figures.
Well, the Suns wanted to say a special hello tonight to Mrs. Faith Penner, who we hope is with us. Understands Faith is back on the job after being out for surgery, so the Suns send their very best to Faith Penner. Steve Kerr on the bench. The free throw was good, so it's now a 76-73 ball game. Suns lead. Here's KJ driving out to Perry. In front, Chambers. Chambers played by Price in a defensive switch. Goes to KJ. Ferry's on him. Now they want to double team Kevin Johnson. He'll bounce it low to Chambers, who's fouled as the shot was knocked away. And we're going to get a foul called here on Hot Rod Williams. And Gerard Mustaf is going to give Kurt Rambis a little breather right now. Mustaf has not played in the game. He'll check in for the Suns.
A lot of these younger players should watch tapes of Kurt Rambis and how he pursues the ball and the enthusiasm he plays with. He hasn't played much, but you can learn a lot from watching a guy like that.
Tom Chambers going to the free throw line for the first time in the ball game. His first attempt is up and in. 77-73, the Suns lead. Not quite 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Suns will move on to Milwaukee, where they'll be in action Thursday night. We'll have coverage on both television and radio. Chambers' next free throw is also good. He hits them both. And it's 78-73. Suns with the lead.
We will keep you up to speed on what should be a tremendous fourth quarter. Phoenix leading Cleveland 78-73 at Richfield Coliseum. 3 other games are already underway, and we've got 3 games starting late tonight. Let's take a look at some more scores. Dallas and Houston, it's 29-19. Houston with the lead over the Mavs. Denver and Orlando, these 2 teams struggling. The Nuggets have lost 9 straight. Magic have lost 6 straight. It is 55-43 Denver in the third period. Minnesota Timberwolves and Charlotte Hornets, they're playing in the third period, and Minnesota has a 69-68 lead over the Hornets. Remember, we're back with you tomorrow night here on TNT. Yes, indeed. 24 hours from now, we're back to work. the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird get next to that one time. Tomorrow night on TNT.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential, rock solid.
Shirts. Beware the man who says, "I'll give you the shirt off my back." Chances are it's not a docker's shirt, and therefore of no great loss to him, nor of any particular gain to you. Nobody does shirts.
It's led by as many as 10, but at intermission, they only lead it by 2, 57-55, as the Los Angeles Lakers shot 51% in that first half. And, Doug, that's not bad considering they're 25th in the NBA in field goal percentage.
Well, I thought they did a good job in the second half. They geared their defense down. They stopped fouling, no fouls. They themselves got to the free throw line, and I thought they played a very good second quarter that allowed them maybe to get out of here with a win tonight.
Well, they're 14 of 14 from the line. Sam Perkins led L.A. with 14 points.
Well, he did this about 3 times in the ball game. He stepped out on the floor and shot to the outside jump shot. You know, Sam had a nice first half, and then Patrick Ewing was big for the New York Knicks. Shot 7 for 9, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, 19 points. He also did a good job getting out on the fast break. Here's one of the times Chucky Brown got himself in trouble. He over-penetrated, forced the turnover. Here's Gerald Wilkins ahead of the pack, and this is the one he sort of slipped as he started to take it up. Otherwise, we'd have probably seen a serious slam dunk. Fast break points, you see New York 18-5. There's plus 13. You sort of expect that in their home arena. The Lakers shooting a very creditable 51%, but I think this is where the real key of the game was. The Lakers in the second half, the second quarter, did not put the Knicks on the free throw line in the game. They're 14 for 14, and bench scoring, Chucky Brown had 8 to help lead the Laker bench to an 18-10 advantage over New York.
And that is where we stand right now. The Knicks lead it by 2, 57-55, and we're set for quarter number 2. Vlade Divac played only 9 minutes. Eldon Campbell played only 6 minutes. Quarter number 3, Eldon Campbell played only 6 minutes for the Lakers. Both teams going with the same 5 that began tonight's contest. And Scott opens it up, and he's way short. He said he got hit. Might have been, because that was way short.
Byron only took 1 shot in the first half. He made it, but 12 minutes, only 1 shot.
Ewing with authority.
Right now is a very important time of the game for the Lakers. First 5 minutes of this third quarter, they've done a good job. They've got to execute. They cannot give up those kind of second shots, Ron. If they stay tough this next 5-6 minutes, they have a great chance to win this basketball game.
Byron Scott trying to go through a couple of picks. Gerald Wilkins grabs him, and that is Gerald Wilkins' 3rd personal foul. First team foul. Patrick Ewing has hit his last 7 shots, opened up a 4-point advantage for the Knicks. Reed still dancing around out there.
Well, Sedale's got to continue to look to be aggressive, not just be a passer. He had 12 points in the first half, and a lot of it was on penetrations and pull-up jump shots, so he must go at Mark Jackson.
Jackson in his back pocket now. Threet's going to force it up, and he banks it home. The bank was open. He makes the deposit.
He's scratching his head. I don't know.
I don't blame him. I think there's about 18,000 people here scratching their head right now. He didn't call bank. Inside, Jackson has to dish it back out.
Well, they got away with a 3-second violation there. Made an extra pass in the lane.
Good ball movement. Shot clock at 1. McDaniel hits it at the buzzer.
Now, Lakers did everything right except prevent the score. Excellent defense for 23 seconds. McDaniel just hit the shot as the clock was winding down, but that was very good defense by the Lakers.
Jackson, that is his 8th assist, and that is his average for a game. We have a whistle and a foul. Mark Jackson, currently 5th in the NBA in assists. That's an illegal defense on New York. That's the first.
Beyond Patrick Ewing, he was 2 quadrants away from Eldon Campbell, just to keep it very simple.
Too far away.
That's right.
Okay, got that down. Fresh 24 for the Lakers. Reed still trying to work off Jackson, uses the right arm to push off, and he does get the basket.
I think that's excellent. I think Sedale has to look to have a big game offensively. He can score against Mark Jackson. He must continue to look for his offense. 7 for 10 now tonight for Sedale, 16 points.
The average 13.9, his season high is 29. McDaniel over AC Green. The high archer draws the net.
Xavier McDaniel 7 for 9 on the night, so he's shooting it well. We've got 2 or 3 guys having big offensive games, shooting a very high percentage from the field. Here's Sedale again, screen roll with Perkins. See if he can slide out and get the jump shot. Or slide him into post.
And Oakley had to look for somebody to pick up, and he slid down to Campbell. And Perkins is fouled on the play, and that'll be on Patrick Ewing. That's his second.
Ron, drawing fouls is an art. You have to learn to be able to create contact and learn to concentrate and still, if you don't get the call, be able to go up and get your shot. And I think the Lakers probably do as good a job as anybody in the league at being able to look for the contact and get to the free throw line. It's one of their saving graces this year is their ability to shoot more free throws than their opponents.
Well, this program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. Perkins 4 of 5, make it 5 of 6 from the line. And the lead is 3 with 9:20 left to be played in the third quarter. Ewing wants it to be tossed up, but instead McDaniel lets it go. Campbell with a rebound. Outlet to 3.
You're not going to backpedal with him, Mark. You better turn and run. Sedale has got the afterburners on tonight. Boy, he had one thing in his mind that time, Ron. He was taking the ball to the basket.
Here's the drive again.
Mark Jackson backpedaling here. You cannot backpedal with a guy with the speed and quickness of Sedale 3. You've got one of 2 things you can do. You can go attack him and force him to his weak hand to the left, or you can turn and start running with the guy because the speed that he creates in the open floor, you're not going to be able to slide with him.
Well, that foul, believe it or not, was on McDaniel. That is his 3rd personal foul.
That's one thing that young players do, and I watch it a lot in high school games, is a guy's coming at them on the break, and they put their feet and they plant themselves down and they allow the person to attack them defensively rather than to go at them and force the offensive player to make a move. And I think it's something you just saw in that last play.
Well, the Lakers pull within 1. The only Laker lead was 2-1 early on as Sedale Freed gets both. Freed having a big game, as we mentioned. Outside, Wilkins for 3, doesn't get it. Rebound, Green. The Lakers have a chance to take the lead for the first time since early on in the ball game.
Perkins wants it inside against Oakley. Remember, he loves that little spinning jump shot or the hook in the lane.
He loses the handle. Nobody went up for the fake. Had a wide open shot. I think that sort of amazed him.
Too open.
Yeah. Had time to think about it.
Patrick Ewing needs to get the ball on this possession. He needs to throw it in the post against Eldon Campbell. Let him make something happen.
There it is. The double team by 3. Good ball movement by the Knicks. Jackson, the little baby right-handed hook over the crowd.
It's all started, though, with Patrick Ewing touching the ball, getting the double team. Then the defense was scrambling. Now you have an opportunity to attack.
10 points, 8 assists now for Mark Jackson. The lead is back to 3. Byron Scott needs to start firing away. He does, doesn't get it. Green tries to keep it alive, and he does. Perkins, the left hand, doesn't get it. Ball still loose. Here comes the Knicks. And Charles Oakley with the curve ball again.
Charles is a little bit too quick with that outlet pass. He's trying to start the break. He's trying to do the right thing. He's just been a little careless because he's releasing it too quickly. Soften that pass up, throw it up in the air, and let the offensive man run underneath it.
Gerald Wilkins is fast. Not quite that fast. They have to do a little housekeeping underneath the far basket. A lot of bodies hitting the ground, and they're going to clean it up. 7:41 remaining in the third. The Knicks lead it by 3. Even the X-Man's going to get into it.
See if the Lakers come down and go screen roll with Sedale and maybe a Perkins or an AC Green or somebody. Just his quickness has really bothered New York. I think one of the strengths of this team right now is that he has the mismatch speed-wise against Mark Jackson. Let's see if he can make something happen here.
Well, the Knicks, who have held opponents under 100 points in 37 of the last 62 games, including 11 of the last 14. Now looking at L.A., pulling within one. Campbell, the wild shot won't go.
Never got his shoulder square to the target. That was just a throw.
Jackson to Ewing.
How about Oakley? A little wraparound behind the back pass. That's 2 of those he's made tonight.
Little showboat.
Important possession. 5-point lead now for New York. Lakers need a score. Here's that screen roll. Something that's been good to him the whole game.
Perkins left open, doesn't pull the trigger. Sedale does for 2, and he buries it. And I don't think people realize that Sedale Threet was second to Michael Jordan in shooting, as far as shooting guards go, in field goal percentage last year. He's showing it tonight. And McDaniel's shot won't go. Oakley with the rebound, kicks it back out. Here comes Jackson, doesn't get it.
Nice move, just didn't get the finish. Here comes Sedale again in the open floor. Just go right by Ewing.
He does, and he loses the handle. We have him push. We've got a timeout at the whistle. 6:21 left to be played in the third. The Knicks still lead it, but the lead is 3. We'll be back. Knicks lead at 67-64. 6:21 left to be played in the third. Tomorrow night, the NBA on TNT continues. We'll have the Celtics visiting the Chicago Bulls. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown have made their way to snowy Chicago, and we'll call all the action tomorrow night.
I got to thank Hubie Brown for taking that game. I was supposed to do that game tomorrow night, and Don McGuire, our executive producer, was nice enough to switch me so I could watch my son tomorrow in the state tournament. So thanks, Hubie, and thanks, Don McGuire.
Don McGuire's nice enough to switch me tonight just because I want to be with you, Doug. Something like that. Here are the Lakers at the line. Average attempts for the season and tonight.
Well, again, that's the one thing that has helped them win 31 games. And just to support that, this is the 16th and 17th free throws of the game now for the Lakers since the first period. New York has 0 since the first period. So the free throws starting to pay off as the Lakers getting to the free throw line and preventing the fouling situation, forcing New York to try to beat them with field goals.
Not only getting to the line, they're not missing. They haven't missed one yet. That foul, by the way, that 3 for shooting was on Patrick Ewing. That is his 3rd. McDaniel working on Brown, who's checked into the lineup. We have a whistle and a foul, and that'll be on Chucky Brown.
I like what Mike Dunleavy's done, though. Chucky Brown had a good first half. He had 8 points, got to the free throw line 4 times, converted 4 free throws, so he's getting him right back into the action. And I think that's good. You build a young man's confidence by putting him right back out there in the third quarter. He's trying to do a good job defensively now against Xavier McDaniel.
It's the first team foul on L.A. since the first period. Wilkins, little showboat move, doesn't get it. Perkins takes it right away from Charles Oakley, and here come the Lakers trailing by just 1.
Oh, he walked,
and they lead.
Byron Scott needed that one. That's his 2nd field goal of the game in only 4 attempts. So good aggressive play by Byron. I thought he got away with a little extra step, though.
Baby steps. First lead since they had a 2-1 advantage. Ewing, though, gets the lead right back.
When in doubt, let Patrick touch it.
25 now for Patrick Ewing.
I don't know if this is a conscious thing, but they've moved Gerald Wilkins over to Sedale Threet now. I think they're going to use his speed and quickness. They have Mark Jackson now playing Byron Scott. Let's see if they go to Byron off some screens for some jumpers.
Threet, the fall away, a difficult shot, and Sedale Threet has it hot tonight.
I don't think Sedale cares who's guarding him right now.
I don't think so either. He has 24 points in the ball game, 9 of 12, 5 off his season high. Ewing has hit his last 9 shots. Let's see if they go to him. There he is. The spin, the high arcer, doesn't get it. Green with the rebound. The Lakers with a 4-on-3. Green over Patrick Ewing. A whistle. That'll be an offensive foul.
That was an excellent play on Patrick Ewing. Instead of trying to block the shot, he has 3 fouls. He goes, plants himself and takes the blow from AC Green. This is great. Watch him now, the big guy. Gets himself in position and take the charge. That's a great play by Patrick Ewing.
That's a serious collision as Anthony Mason's checked in along with Greg Anthony for the Knicks.
Got to have some courage to step in there and take a shot against the guy who weighs about 230 pounds.
And also John Starks into the lineup for the Knicks.
I think this is a defensive substitution for Pat Riley right now, getting a better defensive team, speed and quickness on the floor.
Somebody got a piece of McDaniel.
Anthony and Starks can pick up in the backcourt, put a little more pressure. The Lakers are running their offense too easily since the really in the middle of the second quarter.
Let's take a look at tonight's Chevrolet scoreboard. As Xavier McDaniel will go to the line. That foul was on Chucky Brown, his second.
It's a big score right there. Miami, if they beat Boston, if the New York can hold on, that's really a two-game swing. And you really look for those things now as the season starts to wind down. That's why every home game is so vitally important coming down the stretch. You just cannot afford to lose at home. And Phoenix up 6 over Cleveland. We talked about Craig Elo's injury. Indiana starting to get it together. They've now inched themselves into the playoffs, and Milwaukee still struggling.
Well, the first 2 free throws for the New York Knicks since the first period puts them back on top by 1 inside of 4 minutes and 20 seconds of the third quarter. Crowd chanting defense. Green drives strong to the hole.
Well, I like what the Lakers are doing. They're getting the Knicks on their closeouts as they're rotating to close out defensively. They're driving the ball right past them, not settling for the easy outside jump shot. Tremendous game plan right now, and the Lakers executing it perfectly.
Anthony will let it fly, and he drains the 2. So Greg Anthony, who's shooting just 36% on the year, now has 4 points for the ball game, and Mike Dunleavy back down by 1. The Lakers have lost 5 in a row on the road. Trying to break that as Greg Anthony whistled for his 3rd personal foul.
I think you can see, though, Pat Riley is wanting more defensive pressure up the floor against Sedale 3. If anything, you start trying to wear him out. Put Anthony on him for a while, maybe put Starks on him again. You bring back Gerald Wilkins. You wear the guy out so that in the fourth quarter, that jump shot will start to wander a little bit because his legs will be tired.
Sedale 3 with 12 points already in this quarter. He'll go to the line. He's perfect right now, 5 of 5.
2 shots.
And he'll get a pair. He's 83% from the line, 100% this evening. His minutes, his points, his assists, his rebounds have all doubled since he came over to the Los Angeles Lakers, and that was almost by demand. Lakers regain the advantage inside of 3:40. Anthony on 3. The double team leaves Starks open. Blows by Byron Scott for the easy left-handed layup.
Ron, that's exactly what the Lakers have been doing to New York on the closeout. When you're closing out on a guy that can shoot the basketball, you've got to close out with the idea, I just can't run at him, because when I do, he's going to attack my top foot and take the ball right past me. We're seeing a lot of that tonight.
We had 2 lead changes in the first half. We've had 8 this quarter.
Look at Sedale. I mean, Sedale,
oh, baby.
He is dancing tonight. I mean, he is left, right, up, back.
I tell you what, that's a little Arthur Murray move there. 1-2 kick, fall back, and score. Starks doesn't get it. Perkins hustles for the rebound. The biggest Laker lead has been won, where it is now. This is turning into an excellent ball game.
It is, and the Lakers have played well. The Knicks have played well. This has been a very well-played game from both sides.
Byron Scott doesn't get it. Green has it taken away by Ewing. But Pat Riley says we play a lot of good games that we lose because we don't finish. Let's see if they can do that tonight. The foul is on Perkins. That'll be his 3rd personal foul.
No, they're going to call an offensive foul on Mason, I think.
That is an offensive foul on Anthony Mason. And that is his 2nd, and we've got a timeout. 2:20 left to be played in the 3rd. Among the boos, but the Lakers trail by 1. Thank you, Ernie. We have 2:20 left in our game, 76-75. The Lakers lead it by 1, as the Lakers have only committed 1 turnover in this quarter, had 10 in the first half, as Greg Anthony is whistled for his 4th personal foul.
What it does is it puts Sedale 3 back at the free throw line. He's 6 for 6 there tonight in this period. Sedale 5 for 5 from the field, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 16 points in the 3rd quarter. And he definitely has been the main man for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. I have never seen him so active on the offensive end before. It started from moment 1. It's almost like he's had a personal challenge tonight with Greg Anthony and Mark Jackson.
He gets them both. Doug mentioned 8 for 8 from the line in this quarter alone. The biggest lead for the Lakers. It is 3. The 3, he goes up. He uses his body to get around McDaniel. So Sedale 3 with 32 points, a new season high, has given the Lakers their biggest advantage of the ball game at 5. Sedale with 20 in this quarter, Doug.
The defensive job that the Lakers have done against Patrick Ewing after 19 points in the first half. He's been so quiet here in the second half.
Well, Patrick Ewing only has 6 points in this quarter. Here's the last play.
Excellent steal, actually the fumble pass from John Starks, and again Sedale 3, the man with all the energy tonight. So the Lakers doing a good job defensively. Remember, they gave up 33 points in the first quarter. Since that point in time, in 2 quarters, they've given up about 40. So their defense has geared up. They've cut their turnovers down. They're getting to the free throw line, so they're doing everything they need to do. They want to keep the game close. Remember, in games 3-point and under, they're 9-2. So all the ingredients are there for the Lakers to steal this ball game if they continue it up for the next 14 minutes.
Reed has the last 8 LA points. Patrick Ewing gets the roll and he gets it to drop.
Well, I think that's a smart play. You've got to go back to Patrick Ewing. Pat Riley knows that. The team sometimes forgets about him on the floor. He can score at will against the front line of this Los Angeles Laker defense.
Terry Teagle up off the Laker bench.
You know, at what point in time, Ron, does Sedale 3 get a rest? We'll have to watch to see how that affects as he makes this shot.
He almost did, and Byron Scott takes it away from Greg Anthony. Loses the handle. Ball should belong to New York as it hits off Byron Scott's leg.
Mike Dunleavy is going to have to think at some point in time if he's going to give Sedale 3 a little bit of a rest. He's played a very inspired third quarter. He played 17 minutes in the first half. If he does rest him, who's going to come on and give them that little leadership that they've gotten from Sedale and the scoring that they've given him tonight in the backcourt?
It's an interesting stat. Sedale 20, the Knicks 20 in this quarter. Lakers lead it by 3, 1:15 left to be played in the third. Now Patrick's yelling.
He wants the basketball.
Yeah.
Greg Anthony's looking to go against Sedale 3. He's got to get the ball inside to Patrick Ewing. See, he's looking for his own shot right now.
And he gets the foul, but still, you have a guy like Patrick Ewing down there. You're shooting 36%. You think you'd want to get it to the big guy.
Well, you've got to. And the problem you have, you've got to be very careful. And you see the team right now, they're telling Greg Anthony to run the play, get the ball inside. He's a young point guard. He will learn. Pat Riley has done a good job bringing him along. It'll be a non-shooting foul. And the Lakers right now seem to be the team that
Pat can't believe it.
Has the edge right now.
Yeah.
New York looking a little disorganized on the floor at this point. They've got to get the ball again inside to Patrick Ewing. He has the mismatch against Sam Perkins.
The foul was on A.C. Green, his second. Starks, a little opening in the paint. Oh my goodness. The former CBA slam dunk champion takes it high for the Jazz.
Man, oh man, this dunk would make Michael Jordan proud. Look at him take off and explode. 3-point play opportunity for John Starks. Tried to tie the game at 80 apiece.
And he gets it. Starks now with 7, he averages 14, and this is our first tie in the ball game as New York has 5 straight points.
See, Starks is a defensive stopper. He's bumping Sedale 3. They're not going to let him get away with that, but he's the guy they feel like that can shut Sedale down. He did a great job early in the year against Kevin Johnson here.
Reach shaking and baking, shot clock at 4. He lets it go and he drains it. Oh, when it's going, it's going.
This is one of those nights you don't want to ever end.
He's going to remember this.
I do not want to go to sleep tonight.
34 points. His career high is 36. He's 7 of 8 this period for 22 points. Inside of Ewing, gets Perkins up in the air, draws the foul, but it won't roll. That's his 4th. A 3rd. Take that back. Check that 3rd for Sam Perkins.
Lakers should get the last shot of the quarter, 10.2 seconds remaining, so they have plenty of time get the ball up and get something going to the basket, maybe even get a second shot opportunity.
Well, Anthony will sit down. Gerald Wilkins comes back into the lineup for New York.
Now that's a defensive substitution. They want a bigger man, Gerald Wilkins, against Teagle because they're playing Starks now against the Sedale Threet. So in case there is a missed rebound, they do not want Terry Teagle the chance to get an offensive rebound and a putback.
Patrick gets the roll. 10 points in this quarter, 29 for the ball game. The final three. You better hurry up. Pushes off. Won't get the shot off. It won't go down. No basket. But nevertheless, it was the Sedale Threet show in the third quarter. 12 minutes left to be played at Madison Square Garden in New York. And the Lakers and the Knicks are tied at 82. The Sedale Threet has 22 of LA's 27 points in that period. Patrick Ewing had 10 points in the period. 29 for the ball game, but we're knotted up going into the final 12.
Well, the things that jump out at me right now, I look at the Lakers 53%, but the free throw shooting 23 mades to 12 for New York. There's plus 11, but the big key, after 10 turnovers in the first half, only 2 in that third quarter. So the Lakers have given themselves a chance to win this game. We'll see if they can close it out, or if New York can have a big fourth quarter.
We'll talk about Pat Riley talking about his team being able to finish. Greg Anthony got a talk to by Pat. He's back into the lineup. Ewing, the baseline jumper, fall away.
Got a switch off that time. Chucky Brown has great leaping ability, but he cannot bother Patrick Ewing's shot. Vlade Divac will have to see whether he can give the Lakers anything after having 9 minutes on the floor, 1 for 5 in the first half.
Threet continues to be in the ball game. Vandeweghe set to check in for New York. Shot clock at 5 as Teagle bumping Starks. No basket. The foul will be on John Starks. That'll be his first personal foul, first team foul here in the fourth.
You know, Pat Riley has likened John Starks to a young Michael Cooper. He feels like that John Starks has the defensive capabilities to be like that. There was a lot of interest in the league for John Starks, and even in a Rolando Blackman deal, they thought so highly of John Starks, his youth and his upside, that they decided to stay with his team, and it'll be interesting to see whether he can be the star they think he can be.
Threet has to dish it off to Vlade Divac. He'll set it up again. He pumps, fakes it, doesn't get it. Vandeweghe tips it away from Ewing and then pulls it down himself.
You can see those Sedales really have to work a lot harder for his shots. The last 2 or 3 times down the floor, they have really made him work.
A lot of bumping. Now Vandeweghe and Brown going at it. Vlade Divac with a forearm in Patrick Ewing's chest.
Watch the matchup between Starks and Terry Teagle. Now that's an interesting, because Starks can beat him off the dribble.
And they were going at it down the other end, too.
Teagle will try to post John Starks. Let's see if they come down and try to post Teagle against Starks. Remember, he loves that spinning shot on the baseline.
Knicks by 2, 10.5 left in the ball game. We've got a whistle away from the ball.
Looks like they're going to go at Kiki Vandeweghe a little bit with Chucky Brown. Kiki, not the best defender. He's a guy that can come in and score some points, but you've got to make him play defense. So when you look out there on the floor right now, you'd have to think maybe Teagle posting up for the Lakers, maybe Chucky Brown going against Vandeweghe.
Well, Sedale Threet's finally going to get a breather as Tony Smith checks back into the lineup.
Let's keep our eye on this run. It's 84-82 as Sedale sits down with 10:26. Let's see if Mike Dunleavy is going to get away with buying him some time.
Threet's career high, as you mentioned, 36 points. That's 34 right now. Teagle dribbles around. Starks uses the left hand. He had it. Vlade can't complete it. And then they knock it away from Kiki Vandeweghe, but the whistle and a foul. That's Divac first.
5 up, Pat Riley calls. I would have to think the number 5 being the 5 spot Patrick Ewing, that he's got a chance to touch this ball on this possession to go inside with him against Vlade.
Ewing cuts over to the left block. Vlade leaning on him. Patrick stumbles, but we have a foul. And that'll be on Divac. So Divac picks up 2 quick ones. And that's the second team foul. 9:59 left in the game.
Say the Lakers just made a gigantic investment in Vlade Divac's future, signing to a 6-year deal for about $3 million plus per year. So they must feel very good that he's going to recover completely from that back surgery.
Starks on the run, catches, shoots, and he nails it.
Where are the Lakers going to go to offense right now? You got Stale out of the ball game. You have Perkins out of the ball game. Who's going to step up and get him a big basket?
I think it has to be that man right there, 45. But Teagle dishes it off to Vlade, who loses the handle to Brown and among the Redwoods, and he gets the spin.
Good shot, Chucky Brown. 10 points off the bench, playing a fine game.
That is a new season high for Chucky Brown as Jack Haley up off the Lakers bench. He'll check back into the lineup. Talk about the job he did in the first half. Ewing from outside, and he rattles it home. Ewing 13 of 16. 33 points now for Patrick Ewing. The lead is 4. Smith will let it fly from deep in the corner, and Tony Smith with his second field goal of the ball game.
Ron, if the Lakers can win this game, you can thank their bench because they've done a terrific job. Tony Smith off the bench. Had Chucky Brown contribute, Teagle, so they're getting some production, something they sorely need. There's 3 on Vlade.
A quick 3. Haley comes into the lineup for the Lakers, as does Sam Perkins. Vlade Divac, who he looks almost fatigued, Doug. I mean, he doesn't look like he's got that spunk back in him yet.
Well, I think what happens, pounding against Patrick Ewing is going to wear him down so quickly, and Mike Dunleavy realizing they play again tomorrow night, that he does not have it tonight. Go to a guy who's doing a good job. Come back with Perkins, but Haley in the game, he did a good job. Maybe Vlade will have something tomorrow night, but he just does not have it tonight.
Lakers make their way to Atlanta in the Omni tomorrow night. Starks the fall-away jumper over Chucky Brown.
See, that's a good matchup, Starks, because Teagle has a very difficult time playing him coming off some screens.
4 points in this quarter for Starks, and Sedale freed up off the Lakers bench. That rest didn't last very long. Brown, who thrives on the transition game, really is not effective in the half court. As Teagle, there's that spot again. I'm telling you, he's got that down.
The Lakers have made some tough shots. The last 3 possessions, Chucky Brown with a tough shot, Smith with a tough shot, now Teagle.
Big rebound by Brown. McDaniel up off the Knicks bench. He'll check in. 2-point Knicks lead inside of 7:35. We've got a whistle, offensive foul. Mike Dunleavy came shooting up off the bench on that one. And Miami defeats Boston by 7. Pat Riley talked about trying to get a cushion before his next road trip, and he's got a little help from Kevin Lockery and company. Timeout. 7:36 left to be played in the ball game, and the Knicks lead it by 2. And here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. New York, who's been dominating the boards recently. Lakers holding close.
Well, we talked about that being the real key, that if the Lakers could stay close, they'd have a chance to win the game. They're 1 rebound behind. They're 1 basket behind. So rebounding definitely a key when you play New York. New York has established himself as the #1 defensive rebounding team in the NBA. Patrick Ewing having a big night, 33 points. Vlade Divac just does not have it tonight. So Jack Haley and Sam Perkins and the rest of that front line, Eldon Campbell, are going to be called upon to try to control Patrick Ewing in the last 7:36 to give the Lakers a chance to win this game, because you know, Ron, that he and Starks are going to be guys they're going to go to.
Well, the Knicks will go with Greg Anthony, Xavier McDaniel, Patrick Ewing, Kiki Vandeweghe, and John Starks. The Lakers counter with Teagle, Perkins, Threet, Smith, and Brown. 19,763 here tonight, the 12th sellout of the season.
Oh, boy.
Give and go to perfection.
Well, Tony Smith got caught peeking. He lost vision of the basketball, and Greg Anthony cut right behind him. You've got to take those kind of easy baskets away. The game is on the line right now. You don't give up those kind of layups.
Anthony now 6 points, 5 assists. Crowd chanting defense. 4-point lead. Freed all the way to the hoop again, and he ties his career high. Doing everything tonight for the Lakers. They trail up by 2, 6:50 left in the ball game. Starks around Smith. Shot clock at 4. Anthony will have to let it go. Doesn't get it. McDaniel wins the race with Teagle for the rebound.
Boy, Xavier McDaniel just fired the ball off Terry Teagle. Be interesting right now. Greg Anthony's been struggling. He's the best defensive player at the point guard they have. Let's watch this. Boom. Will Pat Riley decide to stay with Anthony matched up against Sedale Freed, or we come back with Mark Jackson to run the offense? That's the dilemma that he will have unless he moves Starks over to play against Sedale Freed.
Lacey Green is checked back in the lineup, so he is now on McDaniel. Teagle moves over to Vandeweghe. Starks for three, doesn't get it. Rebound tipped into the hands of Freed. Teagle stops, pops, and he drains it.
We're seeing some shooting tonight, Ron. These guys are just pulling up and firing.
We're tied again at 92.
Here comes Mark Jackson.
Our third tie of the ball game inside of 6 minutes. Ewing doesn't get the roll. Green gets the rebound.
Lakers need to continue to push the ball, look for easy scores.
Reed around Anthony, and he's got a new career high.
Sedale, you're on national TV, man. You got to smile when you're doing this. This is some performance.
I tell you, he looks intense with the eyes now. It's like it's not over yet for him. Now Anthony. LA 6 straight points. Shot clock at 7. McDaniel has it picked by Freed, who comes up with a steal, and here he comes. He's got Teagle on the right, Perkins on the left. Shake, fakes, boom!
Hey, I'll tell you what, I don't care who you're for. You're seeing an unbelievable performance tonight.
He is 15 of 20 from the floor for Sedale Freed. 5:06 left to be played, and the Lakers surprising the sellout crowd. They lead by 4.
Well, this is the Sedale Freed show. We've seen this all night. Look, between the legs, rock back, shoot the jumper, but watch his Laker teammates. AC Green. I mean, this guy, look at Rory Sparrow. I mean, this guy is putting on a show tonight. It's going to be, the Knicks are going to have to find some answers on how are we going to stop Sedale Freed in the last 5 minutes of this game. Now down 4.
40 points, 28 in the second half. Even Magic Johnson walked over to our table and said, what was his career high? Starks in the paint. Oh, rejected big time by Perkins, but New York has control.
Shot clock winding down, got to get it out.
Jackson forces it, doesn't get it. Perkins with the rebound. Lakers with the ball, they lead by 4. 4:35 left. Lots of time remaining. Perkins for 3.
This is contagious, Coach. I mean, everybody's shooting it up tonight.
I remember you saying one time that when Craig Hodges got hot when he played for you, that felt that the rest of the team just followed.
Especially if you hit 2 or 3 threes. I mean, you see everybody get excited.
Lakers on an 11-0 run. This is their biggest advantage. Ewing can't find the hole.
See, now you're putting pressure on the Knicks every time down the floor. Ewing or Starks to try to score, and the Lakers have done a tremendous job defensively here. This time they can use a little clock.
January of '84, the last time the Knicks won against LA, and Perkins almost gets it here in Madison Square Garden.
Well, if that ball would have bounced up and in for 3, I think you would have heard this crowd.
I'm going to go billfold hug with these guys.
Really hushed. Still plenty of time, though, that
a lot of time.
Knicks do not have to be in any kind of hurry. Just execute and get the good shot. There's an excellent play by Ewing. Took his time and got in the lane rather than shoot the fadeaway jumper. We're still only down 5. There's a lot of possessions left in this game. So
35 for Patrick Ewing. Lakers want a timeout. A good timeout by Mike Dunleavy with 3:19 left to be played. He sees his team up by 5 and doesn't want it to slip away. 99-94 is our score, and we'll be back. And our score with 3:19 left to be played. Lakers lead at 99-94, and Doug, the recipe for success for Los Angeles, they've got it tonight.
Well, 25-4 when they hold their opponents under 100 points. They're going to have to dig in. The Knicks now have 94 with 3:19 to go. The rebounding is even when the Lakers out-rebound their opponents. They're 14-4, and in close games, they're 9-2. So it's a 5-point game right now. They've got every opportunity. They must continue to execute. And as far as New York is concerned, they don't want to be in any kind of hurry. There's still plenty of possessions in this game. It starts with the defense. Get a few defensive stops, go down, let Patrick Ewing get his hands on the basketball, and I think some good things can happen for them.
Lakers shooting 61% in the second half, 55% for the game. Greet again. Oh, give the boy a saliva test.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
16 of 21. The percentage continues to go up. Ewing wants it. He's got it. Over Perkins. He doesn't get the roll, but he does draw the foul. Perkins picks up his 4th personal foul. Second half scoring. So they'll keep in pace with the other guys.
You know what's amazing? I remember 2 years ago doing a game. Michael Jordan had 69 in the game. Tack on 27 more points, and we're sitting here.
That's right.
Going crazy for 42. I did a game 69 points.
Patrick Ewing, as both teams have missed only 1 free throw apiece.
Big Lakers 10 points there for the Lakers. 23 for 24, 13 to 14. Again, still plenty of time. They're going to be able to get up and defensive pressure a little bit. The Knicks only have 2 fouls. They can be very aggressive on the defensive end. They've got 2 fouls to waste before they go into the last 2 minutes.
Green working on Jackson. Green left open for the jumper, and he drains it.
That time they rotate up to take the ball out of Sedale's hand. AC Green hits the shot, so whoever they're leaving open, the guy is burying the outside shots.
Green has also 5 assists to go along with the 42 points. Starks. McDaniel, the shot, the basket goes. Mike Dunleavy says, where's the foul? I didn't see it.
That's big. That's a big 3-point play opportunity. The Lakers, if they stop them there, they're up 7 with a chance to go up 9. Now, Xavier McDaniel, you see him right there. They rule a little push on the hip. I did not see it.
I didn't see it either. It was on Teagle.
If Xavier McDaniel converts his free throws, a 4-point play, that could be a very, very important 3-point play as we wind down here in the 4th quarter.
Oh! He doesn't get it, but Ewing tips it up, and it's going to be no basket.
It's a good foul, though. It's a good foul because if you don't get caught, you've got 2 points. You're not in the penalty, you take the chance. That's a good play by Patrick Ewing.
That's his 4th personal foul. 2:18 left to be played. 103-98.
Oh, now a moving pick on AC Green.
Oh, I tell you what, Mike Dunleavy cannot believe it.
A couple phantom calls here in the last 10 seconds.
I'll tell you what, it's an interesting call with 2:15 left. The Lakers by 5. Can they withstand it? Jackson doesn't get it. His own rebound. Again, he's got it.
Terry Teagle got in his way. Sedale wanted to spin. Terry Teagle got in his way.
Teagle can't get it to go.
Loose ball foul. That'll be 2 free throws and a penalty. Boy, the last possession, Sedale Green was isolating. He went to spin to take his shot, and Terry Teagle ran right in on top of him. Here's the missed jump shot. The over-the-back foul by Tony Smith. So John Starks at the line with the opportunity to pull the New York Knicks to within 1.
Starks 76% on the year. He's 1 of 1 tonight.
Well, watch the play. Here's Sedale. He's spinning. He's isolating. Here comes Teagle. He spins back to take his shot, and Teagle is right there, chased him off the shot. The timeout New York, down 2, 1:42 remaining.
Timeouts. LA has 3 full. New York has 2 full timeouts as the Lakers take their 20, and with 1:42 left to be played, the Lakers lead it by 2, 103-101. Now this is the time that Pat Riley was talking about, crunch time, and whether or not his team can indeed finish.
Well, this is also the time, if you're the Lakers, you miss Magic Johnson because he was the one that made sure that you executed late in ball games. So we're going to see if the Lakers can execute, and we're going to see if New York, one of the top defensive teams in the NBA, can put the defense and be able to pull this game out in the last 2 minutes.
Magic Johnson watching courtside. They gave him a standing ovation. Just a reminder, don't forget tomorrow night, more NBA action comes your way. Boston and Chicago, 8 o'clock Eastern time, with Bob Neal and Hubie Brown bringing all the action.
New York still has 1 foul to give before they're in the penalty. They can be very aggressive here, try to get a turnover. If not, the Lakers will get the ball sideline out of bounds. So backcourt pressure by Mark Jackson.
The Lakers 9-2, games decided by 3 or less.
Going back to the screen roll.
Jackson has it. They don't call a jump ball. And we've got a timeout called by Mark Jackson as he was laying on the floor. Timeout. Lakers by 1. By 1, the last play.
The importance of not being in the penalty. Defensively, you can be aggressive. Ewing steps out big, reaches in, slaps the ball away from Sedale 3. Mark Jackson knows he can take the gamble. Pulls it away. This is not a backcourt violation. Smart thing. Timeout by Mark Jackson. New York with the basketball and the opportunity now to take the lead. So the importance of staying away from the fouls in the 4th period. You can make the defensive stands, and that's what New York has done in the last 3 possessions.
6 straight points in the last 109 for the New York Knicks. They trail it by 1, a sellout crowd on their feet.
Now the guy you think they're going to go to is Patrick Ewing. That'll probably be their first option. But the guy who's been a very clutch player for them all year long is John Starks. He's made big baskets. So keep your eye on him coming off a screen or maybe even spotting up. He's not bashful. He'll take a 3 if it's there.
The Lakers going with Teagle, Freet, Green, Perkins, and Smith.
See, the Lakers cannot foul. They're already in the penalty, so they've got to play good, solid defense without fouling.
That's the game clock, lower right-hand portion of your screen. Ewing loses the handle. Lakers have the basketball. Here comes Teagle, but there's a foul call. Patrick wanted a foul. That foul was on McDaniel. That is his 4th.
Good defense here by the Lakers. The ball off Patrick Ewing's leg. I think Tony Smith might have got a hand in there and knocked it off his knee. Now both teams in the penalty, so any foul will put both the Lakers and New York at the free throw line. So things have changed with that last foul in the backcourt.
So Smith in for Byron Scott makes the big play. 3. Dancing, prancing. If that goes in, oh, almost did. Ball's loose. Ewing's got it. And we've got a foul. A very quick whistle on Sam Perkins as Ewing came up with it. It seemed like it was normal bumping and shoving. Perkins now 5 personal fouls.
You can see where the Lakers have struggled. As New York has picked up their defense, they have not really gotten a good shot. Now, Sedale took that jump shot, but that was not a good shot. Pat Riley's defense has really locked in here, and the Lakers in the last 4 possessions have gone dry.
Ewing is 9 of 10. Of 11. And Mike Dunleavy wants a timeout. The Knicks have 1 left. Los Angeles has 2. 52.8 seconds showing on the clock, and the Knicks trail the Lakers by 1. Magic Johnson watching as his Lakers lead the Knicks by 1, and the fans are dancing in the aisles.
Ron Thulin's family is excited about this game.
That's former Turner producer. 52.8 left to be played. Lakers by 1. The strategy now for Pat Riley of the Knicks. You put on great defensive pressure so far.
Well, first of all, you say, Patrick, we need this free throw so we can tie this ball game. You want to come down the floor. You want to pressure the ball. You do not want to foul. Play good defense. And then you got an opportunity to take the lead. But the important thing is making this free throw, and you want to play the good, solid defense without fouling.
Well, the Lakers, who have reached 100, only 2 of the last 6 games have broken the century mark. On the season, they've only cracked 129 of 60.
Fourth quarter free throws. How about this? Has this been a game of swings? The Lakers have not shot a free throw, and New York now is shooting their 7th. So this is weird. I mean, the Lakers in the first quarter were outshot, and in the second and third, they shot the free throws now in the fourth. So it's been first and fourth versus second and third.
Jackson and 3 jawing at each other above Patrick Ewing. Ewing doesn't get either one of them, and the lead remains 1 for the Lakers.
Remember I talked about that they were a 72% free throw shooting team. They're 26th in the league in free throw shooting. That's next to the last.
Pat Riley worried about his team finishing in a close ball game. Perkins looks for someone. Shot clock at 5. Scott back to Perkins.
Somebody's got to shoot it.
Shot clock at 2. It doesn't go. Knicks have it.
New York only has 1 timeout, so I think you're going to see them go right to the basket with.
No, Pat Riley wants to take it, and there is a 2-second difference between the shot and the game clock, 2.9 to be exact. So even if New York makes it, Doug, Lakers will have a chance.
Now New York is out of timeout, so they're in a position, if they don't make this shot, they're going to have to foul. And if they foul, they cannot move the ball to half court. So now the timeouts become very, very important. I think the one thing you've got to do, you've got to give New York a lot of credit defensively, because the last 6 possessions, they have forced the Lakers to take the kind of shots that they have wanted them to take. And then the Lakers have made some costly fouls. It did not cost them the last time down the floor with the 2 on Patrick Ewing. He missed both free throws. But remember the running 3-point play by Xavier McDaniel when it was a 7-point game. So fouls have definitely been a factor in tonight's game.
Of course, Sacramento plays the Clippers later on this evening, probably getting underway in just about 5 minutes. And if LA should hold on to win, they'll keep that 8th position as far as the playoffs are concerned. But right now, that's the farthest thing from the mind of Pat Riley. Just a reminder, tomorrow night, right here on TNT, more NBA action. This should be a good one. Boston Celtics. Lewis is there. Jordan will be there. So will Larry Bird. Bob Neal and Hubie Brown in snowy Chicago for all the action, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Coming your way here on TNT as we are into our version of March Madness. That's the Lakers in 3 points or less, as LA has been held scoreless, however, in the last 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Daryl Gerritsen over talking to Jim Ian, the assistant coach of the LA Lakers, as we look inside the huddle of Pat Riley. Out of timeouts.
Now, I watched the game the other night in Sacramento, and the Knicks came out of a timeout in this situation, and they set up a little dribble handoff that Mark Jackson then, where it's a back screen stepping out, flashing Patrick Ewing to the basket for a lob, and Mark Jackson threw a tough pass. But let's keep our eye on Patrick Ewing coming off a back screen, maybe going over the top for a lob pass, although it is a risky play. He was wide open on that play, and let's see if Pat Riley goes back to that. A lot of coaches have certain things they like to do at the end of the game, or they like to run a timeout. They like to run a screen roll. Ewing at the top, he slips it, and Jackson makes a little wrap around behind the back pass. So let's see if they try to go to maybe one of those 2 things.
Van de Wey is checked into the lineup. Do they milk the 19 seconds
no,
they have?
You got to go. You got to go because you're behind, and if you miss, you've got to foul. So I think you got to go right to the basket with it.
Here we go.
Simple play right into the post.
Back to Jackson. To Starks, and he throws it away. Ball belongs to the Lakers. No, ball belongs to the Knicks, and Mike Dunleavy is going nuts.
Well, he's going to call a foul on Sadeo 3.
Oh, my goodness. Where did that come from? Holy cow. 3 phantom calls in this quarter.
Now that ball was going out of bounds. John Starks looked to save it. Let's watch. Now they call the foul on Sadeo 3. Here it is. The ball is mishandled. It's going out of bounds.
He never touched him.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. You cannot make that call.
That is terrible. He wasn't within 5 feet of him. And the game, nevertheless, is tied. Mike Dunleavy has a complaint, and a big one at that. This might cost him a game. And he's going to call a timeout. We'll be back.
What could possibly...
Let's take a look at that again. A very controversial call, but the ball was going out of bounds. It was almost out of bounds if there was indeed a foul call.
Well, Sedale makes a little contact with his left hand right there, but the ball is out of bounds. I mean, it's not... He almost, a little contact there forces John Starks to be able to get to the ball. I just don't see this call being made at this point in time. That ball is going out of bounds. That ball is out of bounds. I mean, there's a little push there, but the ball is already saved, and there's still no call. If we keep that running, well, we couldn't see it. The call came late.
Called late, yeah. And what's funny is during that, one of the Knicks went up to call a timeout, and they said, hey, we don't have any timeouts. So they could have been in big trouble there. L.A. led 103-96 with 2:34 to go, and they haven't scored since then. And now this is the Knicks. John Starks for the lead.
John Starks has one more shot.
Well, I tell you, if I'm the Lakers, I go right to the basket with the ball and put the onus. I do not shoot a jump shot. I say, you're going to call a foul on this other way, too. Let's see if they call a foul this way. Mark Jackson riding him.
Perkins, he's got the three! Knicks don't have a timeout.
Better get back.
McDaniel lets it go at the buzzer. It goes!
Was the light off or not?
The officials aren't saying anything. They're looking at each other.
Uh-oh, this ought to be good.
The officials have no idea. They're conferring with each other.
Was the light on? Oh,
nobody
now we
made
got
a
committee.
move.
Now we got committee.
Oh, if they... my goodness.
No basket.
Nobody made the call until 30 seconds afterward. What a shot by Sam Perkins.
Here comes Sedale Threed over to talk to us.